Your cat may never whisper declarations of affection, and they certainly won't recite poetry about how much they adore you. But hidden inside their quiet habits are subtle messages far more intimate than anything a human could say out loud. Felines communicate in layers, tiny gestures, stillness, glances, choices so subtle most people never notice. Yet if your cat has ever offered even one of these signs, you've stepped into a rare category, someone they trust with the softest and most vulnerable parts of themselves. Let's begin with something almost invisible, something you might have witnessed without realizing it was meant for you. 1. The art of watching. Without watching, cats are masters of pretending not to care. They perfected the role long before humans even existed. You'll see it when they stretch on the windowsill, when they curl on the sofa, when they narrow their eyes and pretend the world is boring. But beneath that calm exterior is a level of awareness so sharp it borders on supernatural. And yes, you are a central part of what they monitor. Many feline behaviorists agree that a cat's detached expression is rarely detachment at all. It's observation cloaked in elegance. While you walk through the room, your cat's eyes may half close, their body may go still, and you might assume they aren't paying attention. But cats are wired to register movement with precision far beyond our senses. Their eyes catch even the smallest muscle shift from across the room. They hear your voice with clarity unmatched by dogs, even though they choose carefully when to respond. That's the key. Choice. If your cat shifts their head when you speak, even briefly, it's not because they must. It's because they decided your presence is worth acknowledging. Studies have shown that cats can distinguish the voice of their own human from dozens of strangers. They simply don't always react because domestication hasn't erased their wild caution. So if your cat throws a subtle glance your way, tracks your footsteps, or positions themselves where they can quietly monitor you, it means you're part of their trusted circle. In the wild, this level of attention is reserved for members of a close-knit feline group. Allowing you into that category is no small gesture. But the interesting part is not just that they watch you, it's how they watch you. Cats often sit with their side or back turned toward people they trust. It seems counterintuitive. Shouldn't they face the person they bond with? For humans, yes. For a cat, turning their back isn't dismissal, it's faith. They're exposing their most vulnerable angle because they're sure you won't harm them. Think of it as a reverse compliment, delivered with their spine instead of their eyes. When they choose to rest near you, where they can keep you within that extraordinary 200-degree field of view without seeming obvious, it's their way of merging caution with companionship. You become part of their environmental map, someone whose presence signals stability, not threat. And that's just the first silent gesture. 2. Where they choose to sleep tells the truth. If you've ever returned home to find your cat curled on your hoodie, buried inside your laundry pile, or asleep with their face pressed against your shoes, you might have laughed and assumed, what a weirdo. But to your cat, these choices are sacred. Felines navigate the world primarily through scent. And your natural smell, not the perfumed version you create with soaps and detergents, but the honest one that clings to your clothes, is one of the most soothing signals they know. When a cat burrows into the fabric that carries your scent, they're surrounding themselves with a reminder of safety and belonging. Researchers discovered that cats can identify their guardian's scent even when mixed with unfamiliar or masking smells. That means the intensity doesn't matter. Sweat, dirt, a long day at work? Your cat recognizes it through every layer. Your shoes are a different kind of treasure. To your nose they smell like, well, shoes. To your cat, they're a map. Those odors carry traces of everywhere you stepped that day. Each place, each surface, each microscopic scent marking your path. Curled beside them, your cat can decode your entire journey. It's their version of asking, so, what did you do today? But the deeper meaning lies in the emotional imprint. When a cat sleeps on your clothes, they're choosing a resting place that represents comfort when you're gone, and connection when you return. It's affection expressed through scent rather than sound. And if your cat guards these resting places, curls their tail around themselves and slips into deep sleep surrounded by your scent, it means they trust that your presence, even in smell alone, is enough to make them feel safe. 3. The nighttime guardian. You never knew. You had. There's a moment that happens in almost every home with a cat. You turn off the lights, settle into bed, shift your pillow a few times, and right when your body begins to melt into sleep, you feel it. A small weight circling, adjusting, and finally choosing a place beside you. Maybe at your feet, maybe pressed against your legs, maybe curled against your chest like a heartbeat wrapped in fur. Most people interpret this as simple coziness. They think their cat likes warmth or softness or routine. But what your cat is doing, silently and instinctively, goes far beyond comfort. They're positioning themselves as your protector. Cats have lived thousands of years balancing between being hunters and being hunted. This duality shaped their instincts in ways humans don't often think about. When they sleep, they must choose locations that give them both visibility and escape routes. In the wild, a bad sleeping spot could cost them their lives. Yet there you are, unconscious, flat on your back, defenseless as a stone. And your cat, your tiny fluffy companion, chooses to stay alert for you. Behaviorists point out that when a cat sleeps near a human, the location they choose tells the entire story. If they settle behind your knees, they're using your body as a shield. If they curl against your chest, they're matching your heartbeat to regulate their emotional state. But if they face the door or hallway, watching the entrance while you sleep behind them, that is a declaration of loyalty so pure, it almost defies words. They're not just sleeping, they're guarding the night. And here's the part most people never realize. Some cats patrol. While you're in dreamland, they slip off the bed, walk through the dark rooms, check hallways, scan for sounds, then return to their post. You never see it happen. But they do it because in their evolutionary wiring, a sleeping member of their group must be protected. Cats may be small, but in their minds, they are fierce defenders of their home. And you are the most important part of that home. If they lie between you and the door, it means they're willing to face whatever comes first. To them, that's love. 4. The bathroom instinct. A strange but deep compliment. There's a universal feline mystery. Why do cats insist on following you to the bathroom? Some owners find it hilarious. Others find it strange. But once you understand the instinct behind it, the behavior becomes one of the most profound expressions of trust and caretaking your cat can offer. Cats see the bathroom as a vulnerable zone, not for themselves, but for you. Closed doors, unusual echoes, running water, hard surfaces, sudden noises. All of these signal unpredictability. And cats despise unpredictability when it involves someone they consider part of their territory. In feline social structure, when a member isolates themselves, it increases risk. So when you walk into that room and shut the door, your cat might interpret it as, you are entering a dangerous place alone. That's why many cats meow, scratch, paw, or push under the door. It's not intrusion, it's concern. They want to confirm you're safe, not trapped or harmed. When you open the door, some cats even walk ahead of you or escort you out, like miniature bodyguards ensuring the coast is clear. But there's an even deeper layer of meaning. Cats don't groom, relax, or wander near things that feel unsafe. Yet many sit calmly beside the bathtub, stretch on the tiles, or simply sit at your feet while you brush your teeth. They're not watching you, they're watching for you. The sounds of running water, flushing, and pipes moving through the walls often trigger ancient instincts about flooding or unstable ground. So your cat positions themselves strategically, ready to alert you or flee with you if needed. And if your cat sits outside the door and waits patiently until you return, that's their version of standing guard. A quiet promise that you won't face the unknown alone. 5. Grooming near you. The most intimate gesture of all feline behaviors. Grooming is the most misunderstood when it comes to emotional meaning. Humans tend to see grooming as nothing more than hygiene. Cats see it as a ritual of vulnerability. In the wild, grooming is one of the moments when cats are most exposed. Their ears aren't tuned to every sound. Their eyes aren't scanning for movement. Their body isn't poised to spring. Grooming forces them to choose trust over survival. So when your cat begins licking their paw, smoothing their tail, cleaning their face, or rolling to expose their belly while you sit beside them, they're saying something extraordinarily personal. I feel safe because you're here. Cats don't groom in front of strangers. They rarely groom in new environments. They don't groom when they're anxious or unsure. Grooming near you signifies emotional grounding, a sense of security so deep they can let their instincts rest. Some cats take it further and groom you, your hand, your hair, even your clothes. These little licks are not accidental. They're a bonding ritual, a way of marking you as part of their family. It's the same gesture mothers use with kittens. To a cat, grooming together means shared trust. And if they groom themselves while watching you, occasionally glancing to ensure you're still there, it's a double message. I trust you with my vulnerable moments. And I like being vulnerable around you. That is affection expressed in the purest feline language. As we move deeper into the silent world of feline affection, it becomes clear that cats don't express devotion the way humans expect. They don't perform grand gestures. They don't use noise or drama. Instead, everything meaningful comes through subtlety, tiny decisions, quiet positioning, gentle signals that only reveal their importance when you learn how to read them. And one of the most fascinating parts of this hidden language is how your cat behaves when you interact with your environment, not just with them. 6. The way your cat moves through the house. Because of you. Cats have a unique relationship with territory. Every room, object, scent trail, and resting spot belongs to a carefully curated map they maintain with more detail than any human could imagine. But when a cat forms a true bond with someone, something remarkable happens. They begin to restructure their territory around you. This is why some cats follow their owners from room to room without needing attention or interaction. They're not begging for playtime or food. They're synchronizing their movement with yours, adjusting their sense of safe space to wherever you happen to be. Behavior experts call this co-location. It means your presence carries weight in their instinctive calculations about security and comfort. Think about it. Cats don't waste energy on things they don't value. If they move when you move, slowly, quietly, or even just by shifting position, they're mapping their physical world to match yours. That's not dependency. That's trust. And the pattern becomes even more meaningful when you consider how cats act when they're unsure. A cat that lingers in the doorway while you're cooking, rests at the edge of the room during chores, or watches from a distance as you work isn't aloof. They're staying strategically connected. You've become a reference point. In feline behavior, that's the closest thing to saying, my world feels structured when you're part of it. 7. The check-in behavior. Most people miss. There's a behavior so subtle that most cat owners don't even realize how affectionate it truly is. The check-in. Picture this. You're sitting on the couch scrolling your phone. Your cat isn't in your lap. They're not meowing. They're not asking for anything. Instead, they walk into the room, glance at you, maybe give one slow blink, and then leave. 2 seconds. No sound. No drama. But in the silent code of feline bonding, this moment is huge. Cats are creatures of patterns. They check the perimeter, investigate new smells, monitor windows, and track movement. A check-in is their way of adding you to that list of essential things to confirm. They're making sure you're safe, you're calm, you're still there. In the wild, group-living cats perform identical behaviors. Brief contact to confirm everything is stable. They don't need prolonged physical interaction to reaffirm connection. A simple visual acknowledgement is enough to maintain emotional closeness. Humans think affection means extended time together. Cats know that consistency comes in small, intentional gestures. That one glance carries far more weight than most people imagine. Some cats even escalate the check-in by brushing lightly against your leg or placing their tail on you as they walk past. That's not accidental contact. It's a reassurance ritual. They're tagging you with scent glands located near their tail base, marking you as part of their social circle. If your cat does this even once a day, it means you're not just a provider. You're part of their chosen family structure. 8. How your cat reacts when you return home. Every cat has a welcome ritual, even the ones that pretend they don't. When you walk in the door, pay attention to the tiny cues. Do they appear in the hallway after a second or two? Do they hover near the entrance and pretend they were already there? Do they stretch, slowly, luxuriously, as if waking from ancient slumber? Do they greet you with stillness instead of noise? All of those are greetings. Stretching, in particular, is one of the most misunderstood signs of affection. Cats stretch when they feel safe enough to expose their body to potential danger. When you arrive and they stretch, they're saying, "Your presence makes me feel relaxed enough to let my guard down." For many cats, the routine is simple. They emerge, assess you, and then settle nearby. That settling behavior is the emotional core. Cats don't position themselves near individuals who destabilize them. They choose proximity based on emotional reward, not obligation. Another subtle sign happens when your cat turns their side toward you rather than facing you head-on. This posture is the feline version of "I like you, but I'm playing it cool." The sideways stance is an invitation, calm, open, non-threatening. And if your cat circles you once, rubs their cheek on something nearby, or vocalizes softly, those are amplifiers of affection. Not every cat will do all of them, but all of them represent a deep emotional bond. The important thing is this: even the quietest welcome is still a welcome. Cats don't greet strangers. They don't greet people they distrust. They greet the ones who matter. 9. The meaning behind. Where your cat chooses to sit. Cats may seem random when they pick spots to sit or lie down, but the choices are anything but accidental. If your cat sits near your feet, at the edge of the couch, behind your chair, to the side of your desk, or even slightly out of reach, it's because they're choosing a position within what experts call social distance comfort. Cats in bonded groups maintain a closeness that reflects both independence and affection. They want to be near enough to share the space, but not necessarily in constant physical contact. When your cat selects a spot that gives them a clear view of you, but keeps them in their comfort radius, that's their way of merging independence with emotional connection. Humans express affection through presence. Cats express affection through chosen proximity. When they choose to occupy the same room, even on opposite sides, it's not neutrality. It's intimacy delivered in a silent language only the calmest hearts understand. As we enter the final layer of how cats express affection, we reach the behaviors that aren't just subtle. They're intimate. These are not gestures cats offer freely. They're reserved for the humans who become more than companions, more than guardians, more than a source of food. These final signals reveal when a cat sees you as something incredibly rare, a trusted presence in a world they instinctively view through caution. 10. The way your cat reacts to your emotions. Cats don't understand human words the way we do, but they are extraordinary readers of emotional energy. Their senses are refined to detect tiny shifts in body language, tension in muscle tone, changes in breathing, and even the shallow movements you make when you're worried or unsettled. This is why your cat may appear suddenly when you're sad, stressed, or feeling off. It isn't coincidence. It's attunement. Studies show that cats mirror human emotions more than we ever believed. When you're anxious, they may become more alert. When you're still, they may soften. When you cry, some cats respond by staying very close or watching quietly from a short distance, monitoring your state. This isn't pity. It's recognition. Your emotional world affects their internal balance because they've tied their sense of safety to your presence. When your energy changes, they respond instinctively to stabilize the bond. Some cats even lie down near your head or chest, not to comfort you the way humans do, but because your breathing rhythm helps them assess how calm or distressed you are. If your cat adjusts their behavior based on your emotions, it means they've woven you into their survival instincts. That kind of connection is not casual. It's profound. 11. When your cat chooses to break their own rules. Every cat has boundaries, routines, and personal limits. They dislike abrupt noise, changes in the environment, or interruptions to their preferred rituals. But occasionally, a cat will abandon one of these self-imposed rules for a single reason: you. Maybe your cat usually hates being touched when they're resting, but they allow you to place your hand on them during a quiet moment. Maybe they dislike being picked up, but tolerate it when you need comfort. Maybe they avoid certain rooms, but enter them solely to accompany you. Maybe they prefer solitude, but appear when you're lonely. These exceptions are rare and meaningful. Cats don't compromise instinct without reason. When they break their patterns for you, it means you've earned a status that overrides discomfort. That's not obedience. It's selective vulnerability. To a cat, vulnerability is the deepest currency of trust. 12. The silent conversations. They start with you. Cats initiate communication in ways so subtle most people never recognize the dialogue happening right in front of them. A glance, a pause, a small tail twitch, a slow blink. These are the threads of a conversation woven through silence. If your cat looks at you and blinks slowly, that is the feline equivalent of an emotional exhale. It's a nonverbal invitation to relax together. When they angle their ears toward you, Even while appearing busy, they are listening. If they tilt their head when you speak, they are acknowledging your voice specifically, not just noise.